Welcome to DudeNoWay Live, where we embark on a quest to play the greatest games of all time. I'm your host, Moonchild of DudeNoWay, and today we are positioning smarter in Overwatch 2. I'm going to talk about all the things that I got going on, all of the decisions that I'm making in real time, so that you guys can better understand what's happening here. Okay, so we're going in on Attack Dorado, and this time we are playing tank, and we're going to just pay attention to what our team picks, but in general, Sigma is my pick for Dorado Attack, because he can utilize his shield in high sight lines where people have taken the high ground, and stop us from getting sniped by like a Widowmaker, or blown up by like a Pharah, or something like that. Sigma is actually a really good choice for this attack. And, okay, so, with my Genji, I know that we have someone to dive the, backline of the enemy. We have a Moira that can go with him. We have an Ana that can stay with me and with Bastion, to, help us advance and take space. And, between the five of us, ideally, we should have the perfect balance of dive and, sustain. And this is my first tank game in a little while, so if I suck balls, I blame Bastion. Yeah, hi. It's your fault if I suck, bro. Sorry about that. He has no idea. I didn't say that in team chat. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But all right, so we're going to get into this first game here. Off the start, we can expect they will have a Widowmaker. We just got to be ready for that. We're just going to kill this Cassidy straight off the jump. That's a huge advantage for us, because now it is a 4v5 in our favor, and we have respawn advantage. Like, it doesn't get much easier than that for us. And just like I was saying earlier, we can utilize this barrier to kind of ward off the top layer there. And I'm just going to pull the barrier back. And now I'm going to put it back up there. And we're just going to make it difficult in general, just going to make it difficult for the enemy team to do what they want to do to us. We are taking space here, but we're utilizing the payload as a piece of cover. And you can see that while I am at the forefront of the team, I am also using the payload itself to stop a lot of the damage without actually utilizing my two abilities. My Kinetic Grasp is going to be very powerful for giving me additional hit points, but we don't need it in every situation, right? We want to keep that for when something crazy happens, when a character is utilizing a lot of damage for like on us or something like that. We're going to throw the rock kind of in Cassidy's general direction, and we can see that he is kind of stuck here. Which puts us in a good spot. When the disruptor shot comes out from the Sojourn, we're just going to back up behind the payload and utilize the payload's gigantic space to keep us alive and block the shots for the enemy. This is more effective. It's more effective to use cover than it is to use any of your abilities. I'm going to go ahead and pull the shield back, which was still behind us, and let it regenerate health here. And then we're going to go ahead and just set it in front of us as the Cassidy needs to get far out of position and away from his team to be able to engage us. I'm going to go ahead and pull it back now that we have the space that we needed. And because the Orisa is fighting over there for whatever reason, we know that we are totally fine to just kind of engage in this spot. Now we have forced Cassidy with the shield there. We've forced Cassidy to be in a stupid-ass spot. If he wants to engage with us, he has to come all the way out. And I'm going to pull this back now because we see that the Sojourn is over on the right. And we can see that they are trying to hit us with the sleeper shot from Ana, but we're not going to let them. And again, I'm utilizing the payload, and I'm continuing to move in all situations, right? I'm using the payload's gigantic, whatever the fuck this is, coil on the back of it. To block shots from the enemy, and I'm keeping my shield up on cooldown, or off cooldown even, so that I can use it when I need it, and I'm using that to pass around corners and keep my team safe. And now with the D.Va behind us, we can go ahead and we can utilize our Kinetic Grasp here to make sure that the Bastion is enabled, right? And we can use the shield to block the High Noon here. And we can let D.Va kind of engage with our team in the background. Right, and now we're just going to stand in front of the Sojourn and absorb her shots from her railgun. And that's going to make it difficult for her to get value with her ultimate. And even if I don't kill her in this moment, what I am doing is effectively nullifying her value that she's able to get here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the shield back. We're going to make sure that the shield is regenerating its power. And then I can throw the shield up here to make sure that the D.Va can't engage us from the high ground position. And when the Bastion is utilizing his tank form, I'm going to keep an eye on him, and in situations where I need to, I'm going to stand in front of him, utilizing Kinetic Grasp and our body to make sure that we can push forward. With the D.Va in my face here, I'm going to go ahead and rock her, and that is going to stun her inside of the Bastion ult, making sure that our Bastion actually gets value out of what he's doing here. And with the Cassidy going up top, we can expect that he will be utilizing his High Noon in just a second. I need to use my ult here because it's getting to the point where I have almost wasted my opportunity to use it. I could have had another ult by now, and now that we are the only ones still alive except for Reaper, we need our Ana to heal us up. Thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the shield back as the Reaper goes and gets the kill on the Ashe there. We're just going to put the shield in front of the Cassidy and make sure that if he wants to engage, he has to do it from an angle that we want him to. And with the payload and its gigantic size, like I was saying, we can utilize the payload to block the D.Va ultimate. And once the defense matrix goes out, we can throw the rock in her general direction and stun her. And now we're just going to keep our eyes around the payload here and just push it forward. And that is the win here on Dorado. Pretty easy, not too hard. You know, we were in there, we were in the places we needed to be. We utilized our abilities when we needed to, but most importantly, we utilized cover of the payload itself to stop most of the damage that we were actually taking. So we're here on Havana. And this time we're playing as DPS. We're going to watch what the team picks. We have a mobile character in D.Va. We have a mobile character in Kiriko. But we're going to have kind of like a, like maybe a not so strong pick here in the Illari. So what we want to do is make sure that we're playing a character that is extremely sustainable in damage. And because we already have a soldier, that means for me, I'm either going to play Sojourn or I'm going to play Echo, depending on what the enemy team has. And Sojourn is going to give us a lot of sustained damage, and that will allow us to push forward a little bit easier, since we will have a kind of a less able to be mobile healer in the Illari, because we have to be near her healing pylon to actually get value out of what we're out of her character. She is not so great if you're not near the pylon. If you can make use of the pylon, then she becomes extremely powerful. So in this moment, I could play somebody like Sojourn, I could play somebody like Echo, or I could play somebody like Torbjorn and get a lot of value out of him. I think I'm going to start with Sojourn, and we're going to see what happens from this point forward. It's tough because Sojourn is not my favorite. While I enjoy her railgun, she is also like she's not my favorite in terms of kit. I don't like being reliant on her soul movement ability to get out of dodge, because if the enemy team ends up having something like a Sombra, or they switch to something like a Sombra, we can actually end up in a position where we are unable to escape when they advance on us. And right now we're getting shot up by the Widowmaker, so we're going to use the Disruptor Shot, put it up in her window, and hope for the best, hope it kind of discourages her from being in that place. And while it didn't, because it didn't quite reach, we can utilize this space that we've created here inside of this this building and wait for the team to come back, keeping the payload, or keeping the railgun charged up. We can get somebody low and just finish off that Hanzo. And while I don't have a heal here, I'm gonna press Q. I can't press Q on Sojourn. Apparently I have my I need healing button unbound, but I'm gonna go ahead and stand in front of the healing pylon and hope for the best. I don't want to put myself in a position where I end up dying. This is extremely important that I stay alive here. With the Ana still up, it's now most important that I get the Zen down. So I'm going to force the Zen out of that place by throwing the Disruptor Shot. But you can see that the Hanzo wants to ego duel me because I was the one who killed him last time. And I don't want to ego duel the Hanzo because the odds of me winning that are pretty slim. He only needs to hit one headshot, and I potentially need to hit several to make sure that we can actually get value out of this character. But I can shoot the Disruptor Shot up into the window there to stop the Widowmaker from being able to utilize her high ground position. And now we have made it to checkpoint 1. We can expect that the ultimates will be coming online here, and we got to be careful, but we want to try and save this railgun if we can for the Zen when the Zen decides he wants to peek. Actually, instead, we're just going to pump it directly into this Junker Queen and hope our team also gets a little bit of damage out onto her. And while they didn't, that's totally fine. because we are going to continue to push the payload, utilizing it as a piece of cover. And now that I have been hit by her, the door is closed behind me, so I may die here. Now that I have been hit by her axe, I need to retreat, because that damage over time is going to stop me from getting healed. And the Junker Queen is now buffed with the help of the Ana. And we're just kind of waiting for our team to be able to heal us back up here. And while we were able to get the heal from 1 HP, that is not usually the case. So we got to be very careful about how we engage as we move forward here. With the Kitsune guiding us forward, I know that I can shoot this disruptor shot kind of in a random place, but like kind of forward into where we're about to go without having to worry about not having it, because the reduced cooldown from the Kitsune rush will allow us to have it back very quickly. And the team looks like they are grouping back up here for another team fight, which is a smart move. That's what I would do as well. Knowing that the Zen is up there, I'm just going to put this disruptor shot in the window there to try and stop them from moving forward. I have my ultimate, but I don't want to use it if I don't have to. And we can see that the Hanzo ultimate is coming through on the side here. I'm just going to utilize the payload and kind of crouch down to grab the checkpoint. Checkpoint is more important than dealing with them at this moment. We're just going to go ahead and put that railgun into Hanzo's face. And because I could feel myself getting hit from the Junker Queen on the side, I'm going to use the movement ability of Sojourn to slide myself backwards, put myself up on that high ground position over behind me, and I'm just kind of putting in the damage where I can and remaining consistent, allowing the team to do what they need to do without putting myself in a stupid-ass position where I'm going to end up dying. And we can see that our Diva is getting fully healed up, and this next spot is going to be very difficult because the enemy team is now going to have respawn advantage on us. So while I am able to put shots in from range here, the projectile nature of Sojourn's primary fire makes it a little bit more difficult to get value out of her abilities, and I need to be very careful about where I am. And with the healing pylon on the back of the payload, that does make my life a little bit easier. And I can go ahead and kill that Bastion, but we can expect that the Mercy will be going in for the res, and she is right now. And with her ability to line of sight us there, I was not able to stop her from doing that. And with the hang on, there we go. With the Junker Queen using her ultimate, I used my movement ability to get myself backwards and away from her shotgun. And now I can see that I am low health. I have 24 HP, and I'm just kind of waiting back here. I'm waiting and hoping that somebody sees me before it is too late here. So now we're going to utilize our railgun just to put everyone into the dirt as best we can. And we're just going to kill that Junker Queen. We're going to kill that Mercy, and that is game here on Havana. That's a 16-0. That positioning was pretty strong there, utilizing the payload to make sure that we were kind of safe from the enemy fire and saving our ultimate for the battle that we needed it most. And that's play the game. What's up, baby? All right. This is right at the end here when I utilized my ult. I meant to press my ultimate, but I pressed melee by accident. And bam, that is the kill on the Junker Queen. This is the kill on the Mercy. And we are good to go moving into the next game here. All right, so when you play in support, in general, you want to make sure that the team is in front of you. And if you have more of the enemy in front of you than there are teammates in front of you, and again, this is just generally speaking, but if you have more of the enemy in front of you than there are teammates in front of you, you're in the wrong place. It's a pretty simple concept, but also difficult to engage with as you are playing. As people become priority targets, things need to die. It's very easy for support to put themselves out of position and overextend into a death. And because my team doesn't know what to pick, it's very difficult for me to decide what I'm going to pick. It looks like they're locked in as Wrecking Ball, which is a weird choice with Ana, but we do have a mobile DPS player to go with them. And then we have kind of a more sedentary DPS player in the Bastion. I'm going to go ahead and pick Kiriko off the start. And if it turns out that the enemy team has a Sombra, then we are going to swap over to Moira to counter that Sombra. I'm going to press my button by accident, but that's totally fine because by the time we get to the actual point, it will be off cooldown. Not a big deal. And in this situation, you can see I am putting the team in front of me. I'm keeping an eye on where my ball is. I'm keeping an eye on where my Bastion is and how his player model is changing in color as he loses health. Very important to see. I'm going to go ahead and utilize the Suzu to keep Bastion immune and enable him during his turret form, which is very important. Enabling your damage and your tank when you are playing as support is the way that you win the game. And you can see that I'm just keeping everyone kind of in line with me and making sure that I see where everyone is at all times, so I can utilize my increased mobility as Kiriko to make sure that everyone stays alive and remains safe while they're doing the things that make them valuable. Especially, like, Bastion is a really easy example here, because Bastion always converts back and forth between his regular form and his tank form, and like him being in tank form is like the easiest example of enabling him. So as soon as he goes into tank form, I know that I am tunneling heals into him, because he is going to be the target of enemy aggression, right? But that is also the time when he is most valuable to me, so he needs to stay alive the most in those moments. I'm also keeping an eye on my tank over here to make sure that my tank stays alive, and I saw that there was a Reaper shooting me in my back, so I decided to move forward, not realizing that there was an Ashe on the other side who could easily just 3-tap me. That's not a big deal. I was doing the right thing at the right time. It's just that I didn't notice that the Ashe was there. And we're going to go ahead and get up with the team. We can see that everybody is getting critical now, and we know that we just lost our Moira, which means it is most important that I get down there and get to the team as quickly as possible. I'm going to go ahead and throw the heals out to the ball, and I'm going to throw the heals out to the Bastion. And again, right here, this is the moment where Bastion needs to be most supported, because this is when he is most valuable to us. And with Bastion here doing what he does, we can go ahead and just get a little bit aggressive with the enemy team. Knowing that Moira is back, it means I don't have to spend so much time healing the Wrecking Ball. And just in general, you don't need to heal Wrecking Ball as often, because he can kind of dip in and out of engagements pretty quickly, and may not need as much support as like a slower moving character like a Bastion might, right? So now we're just keeping an eye on our Bastion. We're throwing out a little bit of damage here and there where we need to. In things that will help, I'm going to go ahead and Suzu myself and get over to the Moira, who faded away at the moment when I was trying to heal her. But we do need to make sure that Moira stays up. And we never kind of got together to be able to utilize the Kitsune Rush, but that's okay because we ended up winning the round, right? And the only kunai I threw hit Reaper in his face and finished him off with the 47 health that he had left. You can see I have 47 damage because that's how much health that Reaper had left. I did exactly what I needed to do, was in the places I needed to be, and we won that first round, no problem. And we got the green Wrecking Ball skin here, and that makes him a little bit easier for the enemy to see because he glows in dark places. So even when Wrecking Ball is trying to kind of get by, it's a little bit easier for them to notice him based on the skin that he's using. Whereas you compare that to the Bastion, who is using kind of a dark skin, and Bastion can hide a little bit easier in darker places. Not so easy on this point, but in the last point that was pretty relevant because there were a lot of shadows, a lot of underside places where people could go. And now that I see Bastion is going this way, I know that Moira is going the other way. I'm going to stick along with this Bastion and just kind of keep everybody in front of me as best I can, and keep an eye on the color of their player models as I see them through the walls to make sure that they are at the health levels that I would like them to be at. I'm not going to put myself into the line of sight of the Orisa if I don't need to. And right here we know that we need to save Ball, so we're throwing kind of heals over towards Ball's way. And we're going to hope for the best here. And we did end up saving him. That's totally fine. And he's going to get aggressive here. And I'm just going to... I overshot the Suzu, but that's all right. We know that they have a Bastion now based on the sound that we just heard. So we're just going to keep our distance and line of sight that entrance point over there. We don't want to let Bastion die. But at the same time, we do want to keep Ball alive if we can. But he's rolling around grabbing health packs along the way. Thankfully, he knows where the health packs are, which makes our life a little bit easier. And now that we see that Bastion is going down hard, there's not much we can do about that. He took too much damage too quickly. And we're going to heal up this Moira. We're going to teleport over to the Moira to kind of cover the space between myself and the Tracer, who is coming up on our side. And we don't want to get killed by this Tracer, but Moira is a good person to enable to stop Tracer from being able to do what she does. And so I'm just going to tunnel some heals into her. Also, Symmetra is another good character to deal with Tracer. So we know that we don't have to worry about trying to hit her with a kunai. We can actually just enable our teammates to do what they're already good at and allow us to make the most of our situation. We know that their Bastion is here, and because of that, we're going to hit ours with a kunai, or with a Suzu even, and that will allow us to protect him during his tank form for the small amount of time that he is in it. And now we're going to use the Kitsune Rush here to pump out some additional healing that we may otherwise not have been able to. Unfortunately, I looked away at the moment when our Bastion got tunneled, but it looks like between him and Symmetra, they were able to push most of the enemy team back into their spawn here. And now it's only Tracer that we have to deal with. And if Tracer runs into one of these bombs from the Wrecking Ball, she's going to take most of her hit points worth of damage, so we don't have to worry too much about that. We have the Symmetra ult is coming out here, and knowing that our Moira is getting low, it is most important that I enable her to stay alive here. I can't climb that wall effectively, and I tried twice. I don't want to spend too much time trying to do that. I'm just going to gently strafe out of the Bastion ult because I don't have to use a Suzu for it, and that's going to be the game here on Samoa.